Good afternoon, everybody. It's 5:15. We're going to get started. Call to order. Today is Tuesday, December 10th. Open session. At this time, the Board of Trustees will hear public comments, presentations, or requests on matters listed on the closed session agenda. Speakers are requested to give their name and addresses. Time limit for speakers is 3 minutes. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. The board reserves the right to limit presentations. This meeting is being recorded. Do we have anybody here for comment at this time?
Oh, Santa has anything to say.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Santa. Okay, hearing no comments, we will be going to closed session at this time. 6:23 p.m. So we'll get started. There's nothing to report from closed session. And we're going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance. And Trustee Rodriguez?
Y'all please stand. Put your hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will continue with communications and recognitions. Recognition of board members, recognition of service to the Governing Board of Trustees as President of the Board, Maria Peinado, and Clerk of the Board, Sandy Nugent. End of term recognition of board members, Diana Garcia Reese, Eric Rodriguez, and Maria Peinado. Dr. Farkas?
Okay, well, on behalf of the entire Central Union High School District, thank you. It's a pleasure tonight to honor and recognize our three outgoing trustees. Their service has been of dedication to our students. And obviously, when you have ups and downs and this many people in a school district, things are going to happen every day. But they always kept the students' best interest at heart and by action. And we're just really blessed and thankful for their years of service. Next week, we'll have a new board meeting with our elected officials coming in. But for tonight, we want to reflect back on the numerous opportunities that they have provided for leadership in our district. And you sometimes, when we look up at all these awesome pictures, time goes fast, and we're just thankful for all the different events they've supported and how visible they've been, truly showing how much they care about our students and our staff. So thank you to our outgoing board members, Diana Garcia Ruiz, Maria Peinado, Eric Rodriguez, and then also, I think Ms. Peinado received a plaque already for her service as our board president. We're also recognizing her for her service as a trustee. We're recognizing tonight are still on the board for the future, but also her last meeting as our board clerk, Sandy Nugent. Thank you for all your service. We'll hear more from our board during the board report coming up shortly.
Next, we have recognition of classified retirement of Norma Velez, Alexic by Carol Moreno.
So, good evening, board members, colleagues, and members of the community. My name is Carol Moreno. I'm the Director of Human Resources for the district. I'm here to present our latest retiree. From a personal standpoint, the last few retirements have been a little harder to accept. These are people that I have come to know and admire. I admire them for their dedication to our students, for having served our district for the majority of their lives, and for truly understanding the purpose and the why of working in public education. So today I have the honor of recognizing someone who has served CUHSD and its amazing students for 32 years, somewhere along there. She is the OG lunch lady of the notorious lunch ladies and food dudes. And so Norma, she is known for sending motivational quotes and being an overall positive presence on our leadership team. I will miss that the most, Norma. Norma understands the importance of a good meal so our students are nourished and ready to take on their next class. So a little bit about Norma. She has been with the district since August of 1992. She has worked as a cafeteria clerk, and currently she is our nutrition services supervisor at Central. Norma has held roles as a site rep, job steward, and vice president for CSEA. I can tell you that even in those roles, she was always very positive, and we always had a great relationship. There's never been a time when Norma hasn't put our students' needs first, so thank you again for that, Norma. She has been happily married to her wife for 9 years, and together they have 4 wonderful adult sons and a lively 3-year-old. I don't know how you do that, Norma. And she does keep them on her toes. She recently experienced the loss of her mother, and I'm so sorry for that, but she's grateful to still have her father, 2 brothers and sister to provide her support. Her hobbies are that she really enjoys reading, watching movies, listening to music, diving into podcasts, and exploring the new or very informative world of social media. So you'll have much more time for that, Norma. So what she's going to miss most about her job is that she's going to miss working with her family and students, her work family. We're always family, right? And every single person that contributes to her workday with their unique personalities and who have made her days enjoyable. Her retirement plans include taking advantage of her free time to do things with her family that she couldn't do before, making new memories with them. And so you also don't expect to wake up too early anymore, right, Norma? Something interesting about Norma is that she has an autism mom, and she has experience as a foster parent. Or she is an autism mom, I'm sorry. She has experience as a foster parent. She says she tends to be shy at first. I don't believe that because I've never seen a shy day with you, Norma. But once you get to know her, she truly does become unforgettable. She's that quirky friend or relative in your life. And we are going to deeply miss you, Norma. So come on up, and we'd like to give you a little dedication. Am I still going to get those motivational quotes? She looks so different without her hair.
Next, we will continue with the Student of the Month recognitions, and we'll start with Desert Oasis.
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening, board members, superintendent, and public in attendance. My name is Julio Cesar Diaz, and I am the proud principal of Desert Oasis at Phoenix Rising High School. I'm here this evening to recognize our wonderful students for Student of the Month. It is always great to celebrate the success and achievements of our students, so it's always a pleasure to be up here and show examples of great success with our students. And first, I have, for Desert Oasis, we have Dora Guzman. So Dora's a senior and currently has a 3.5 GPA and will be graduating in June. Dora is also part of the Leadership ASB class, and she's highly motivated to be successful. Her goal is to attend college and continue her education. Dora is a true leader on campus that she even offered to wear the mascot every time we have an event. So she doesn't like to be, outed because she wears it. She's like, "Don't tell him, Mr. Diaz," but so it's Dora. And I'm not sure. I don't see her here, so I don't know if she was able to be here today. But we'll give her recognition tomorrow. And then for Phoenix Rising, we have Juan Rodriguez III. Juan currently has a 3.5 GPA and wants to return to Central after recovering all his credits and raising his GPA. So in June, that's his plan. Juan also wants to attend college and major in computer science. Juan always demonstrates excellence in class and outside of class, and he's always smiling and in good spirits. So congratulations, Juan Rodriguez, and I'm not sure, I don't see him here. Yeah, right. Those are the 2 Student of the Months that I have, yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we'll continue with Central Union High School.
All right, good evening. As always, it is a great honor to be able to honor our Students of the Month. At Central, we do them by departments, and so this time that we're going to be doing is our Science Department and Physical Education. And in the Science Department, we have Julia Morales Garcia. Is Julia here? She is what the teacher indicates is that she is an excellent student with excellent work skills. She completes all her assignments, demonstrates excellence. She is also has very nice demeanor towards her classmate, and her plan is to go to community college and then on to a 4-year university. And she is looking forward to get involved in maybe playing volleyball, tennis, and being on the track team later in the spring. So I'll make sure I get that to her. Thank you. And our next, also with the Science Department, is Ruby Casto. And so Ruby, so you can come on up here, and then I'll talk about you as you're coming up here. So the teacher indicates that Ruby is currently in AP Chemistry without having chemistry first. She has become my top student by working very hard, coming in for tutoring whenever she can, and watching videos on her own time to learn the curriculum. This is what all AP students should be doing, so we want to congratulate her on wonderful Science Department student. We'll come back. You will come back and get pictures afterwards. And now from our PE and Health department we have George Rivera. Is George here? All right. We're excited that George is here. He came just out of soccer practice, so And we have a very good soccer team, and he's on the varsity soccer team. So, and he is a 9th grader. It says George is responsible, determined, and leads by example. His work ethic is one to admire. George will go to George will go to long places if he keeps up the great work. George consistently displays Spartan character with his peers, teachers, and staff, and his goal is obviously to become a professional soccer player and keep his 4.0 GPA. So
Wow.
congratulations. We're going to get a picture in just a minute, George. Yeah, don't go too far. And our last is also from the PE Health Department is Francisco Lara. Is Francisco here today? Oh, that's right. He is wrestling. There we go. So I got that message from my secretary. She said that Mom would be here and make sure to take care of this. The teacher indicates that Francisco is an exceptional student who exemplifies dedication, hard work, and perseverance in everything he does. With consistent high grades, he demonstrates a strong commitment to his academic success, always going the extra mile to complete late work and stay on top of his studies. Beyond the classroom, Francisco is a standout athlete, excellent in football and wrestling, and with determination and teamwork. His positive attitude, integrity, and strong work ethic make him a role model for all peers. Francisco truly embodies the qualities of a well-rounded and driven individual, both in academics and athletics, and inspiring others to reach their full potential. So we want to congratulate him, and I know Mom's here to make sure, so we're going to congratulate Francisco. All right, and that is our Student of the Month. And so I know, are we going to get a picture? Mom's right there.
Dedication right there. Nah.
Now let's get together.
ChatGPT him in.
Ready? 1, 2.
Snapchat GPT. Snapchat, yeah. Snapchat.
And next we have Southwest High School, Mr. Derma.
Okay, the following students are Students Month winners for December 2024. We have Citlali Hernandez. So Mr. Cuddy nominated Citlali because she is an excellent mind and a hard worker. So congratulations, ma'am. Okay. And we have Ansel Cisneros, Ms. Huerta. Ms. Ansel. There, right there. Okay. Good job. Congratulations. Certificate. You like that coin, huh? Yeah. Right there, sir. Ms. Huerta nominated Ansel because he has straight A's in all his classes and is a polite, kind young man. Next, we have Ms. Adam Solis. No, she wasn't feeling well today, but outstanding student. Mr. Cuddy nominated Sari, or Adam, because she has an excellent mind and a hard worker. Ms. Pletes nominated Sari because Adam works very hard in every project she is assigned. She is creative and proposes new ideas for her projects. She thinks outside the box, is not afraid to try new things. Next, we have Mr. Grant Cutting Jr. Mr. Duenas nominated Grant Jr. because he perseveres. He really recently scored, 1480 on the SATs and is a great kid all around. You beat my 750, buddy. Okay. Ms. Rodriguez nominated Grant because student has excelled in IB Math HL course and always strives to improve. Mr. Escalera nominated Grant Jr. because he is an awesome individual. Mr. Castillo nominated Grant Jr. because he's respectful, honorable, and a stellar student. And Ms. Huerta nominated Grant Jr. because he's an awesome kiddo who got great SAT scores. Outstanding job, sir. Okay, pictures, please.
I'll never say I'm smart again. Not for nominated by not one, but like two. With three teachers.
Yeah, get ready.
Thank you, everybody. So we're gonna I got a request to move our governing board reports up and then do our recess afterwards. So we will start with trustee Espinosa.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I'll say physically, mentally, you all are present, either listening here or virtually, so thank you for that. Thank you for your time. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving break and holiday, and I think folks are ready for an upcoming holiday. I think I am a bit. I'm excited to rest and excited to lead the new year with some intention. I wanted to share, I was unfortunately unable to attend the AEC conference, so I'm looking forward to hear how it went. Looking forward to hearing new ideas and things that we might be needing to integrate within our school district. I was actually in DC that week going to, in my other capacity, I was at a Department of Energy conference, and so had some opportunities to hear about the energy infrastructure from a national security perspective, but also got to learn about there's programs called Renew America Schools for K-12, where these are energy efficient programs for districts, and so they're open for all. So folks who are interested, and us as a district might be interested in looking at some energy efficient programs if they fit with us, and so I think those are some areas that we might just benefit looking into in general. Wanted to share this past Saturday, I got that opportunity to hear the, unfortunately I couldn't hear Southwest Band from where I was sitting, but the Great Spartan Band was where I was at in the front, and we had Mr. Yanni out there with the students, and everyone, folks were dancing left and right listening to them out there on Saturday. So that was really fun and cool, and I got to hear, I don't think he's around here, but our own Mr. Pechtel was doing an announcement out there, and that was fun to see. And in addition to that, got to see some other cool students and teachers out there. And in that time, I got to have a great conversation with the SBD director and learned that they're working on a financial literacy, wasn't sure if it was coloring book or just a easy to read navigation book, but they're creating that here locally for the community, hoping to present it to the Board of Supervisors pretty soon. And as soon as I heard that, I asked her, please let me know as soon as it's board approved or Board of Supervisor approved, because I think it'd be beneficial for our students to see that and learn that from a financial literacy perspective. It was presented as two choices, and depending on the choices you make in your own financial decisions, well, that's the path you take. So I think that was really interesting and great for students to see or learn about, and I'm glad someone in our community is all working on these types of projects together. And this is kind of an emotional one for me. So I'm gonna give my thanks, and thank you for giving me this time to say it, because to the 3 outgoing board members, thank you for your service, your time, and your dedication. There's so much that I've learned from all 3 of you. And I wanted to say from Maria, I learned courage, I learned inspiration, and I learned to communicate and the ability of our communication and what impacts that has. And without you, there have been a lot of navigations in my life, both personally and professionally, that I would not have known how to navigate without you. So thank you. There's things you know, and I'll leave you to that, but thank you for that. Eric, you taught me to think critically. I want to thank you for that. I think you always taught us to listen to the parent perspective and learn, take into other people's perspectives, and I really appreciated that a lot. I think you really helped me understand my role on the board when I was first coming on, and I really appreciated that a lot, more than you know. And you also taught me how to let the ego go, and I thought that was really cool too. Diana, you taught me so much. You taught me integrity. You taught me to lead something with full intent and effort and heart, and with community in mind and selflessness. And I thank you for everything that you've taught us. You taught me to go for it. You taught us to go for it. I think that's instilled in all of our district, our students. And yeah, just thank you all for all that you've done. And thank you for all for the students and for our district and for our community. And I do hope we all continue to get to work together in some type of capacity to better our community. Thank you. That's it. And have a happy new year and safe new year, everyone, please. That's it for my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Espinosa. Next, we'll hear from Trustee Nugent.
Good evening. Welcome for being here. I did have the opportunity to go to the CSBA conference this weekend. When a new board member that will be sworn in next week, Bimora, was there with us as well. There's some really nice things going on. I'm on the delegate assembly, so I was there on Tuesday and Wednesday. So there are a lot of neat things that are coming down that we'll be able to share down the road. Yesterday, I went to Central to see the new, I don't know, where the math building was. I don't know if it's going to be called the C building. Okay, so I got a chance to see the C building and how that's coming along, and it just looks really nice, and it's going to really create some more educational spaces for the physical education classes and for other classes as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing when that's finally finished. I know our athletic programs are doing great. I can't wait to watch George play. I know that Central team is currently undefeated at this time, so in Southwest, girls and boys are plugging away, so I look forward to seeing that. I'm not going to get too specific about the individuals here to my right. I know you guys, Eric, Marie, and Diana, you were on when COVID was going on, and I admire the strength that you guys had in the Zoom meetings, because even though I had just retired in 2020, but I was watching online. Diana, 2 terms, I mean, wow, a pillar on the board that definitely is going to be a hole right there. Maria, a chance to work with you and share some of the things with our, on a personal note, with our parents, because her parents are in a similar situation that I'm going through with my mom. But excellent people. I look forward to keeping you on speed dial. I told you that I still plan to do that. And thank you for serving the community of Central Union High School District. Thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, Trustee Nugent. Next, we'll have Trustee Garcia-Reese.
My last report. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. I hope that the kids, please be safe during Christmas, be safe during New Year's, and come back full force, because this is where it matters, especially our seniors. This is, you know, your gung-ho. This is your last hurrah. As most of you know, I'm leaving, so this is kind of my little goodbye. I want to thank my family. This one hurts. No family should have to go through what my family was put through this past year, all for an election. But you did it for me, and I love you for it. Okay. For 28 years, I've been on a school board. 26 different school board members. Only 5 superintendents. 4 superintendents that I've hired. I think that says a lot for our schools here in the Valley, because I hear of superintendents going through a circle, you know, and we don't have that here. And as a delegate for the past 20 years, before Sandy took it away from me, you know, you hear in San Diego and up in Riverside and everything, and a superintendent cycle, of just being there 6 months and leaving, is not good for our kids. So thank you, especially to our superintendent, current superintendent, because it's tough. We're tough on them, but they stay around here for our students. So thank you. As Sandy said, we went through COVID. COVID was only the second pandemic in our history. And we navigated everybody, and it was awful. From the students to the teachers to admin to the board. But we made it through, which shows the perseverance of any school. I've met some wonderful people along the way. I got to serve on the board with 2 legends, Patsy Becerra in Heber and the eternal Spartan, Emma Jones. I've met some pretty extraordinary kids. The most satisfying feeling for me is to see how excited our kids are at graduation. Getting these kids to the graduation is no longer my job. No, not really. That's not an easy job. Our kids are not all the same, so our schools have to adapt. We adapt to them. We protect them. We nurture them, and we teach them along the way. That's what I've always loved about Central Union High School District. We love our kids, and our kids love us. So I want to say, go Spartan, go Eagles, go Panthers, and we will always be one. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia Ruiz. Next we have Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes, thank you. And this also being my last board report, I want to begin by expressing my gratitude to my parents, Leonard and Esther. Surprisingly, my mom watches every meeting and points out all of our faults. I also want to express my gratitude to my daughters, Central graduates, Estrella, Erica, and Soraya, and future graduates, Lily and Ezra. And also my fiance, Michelle. I mentioned them because I needed their support to run for a school board, to serve on a school board, to do public speaking. You know, I needed support, and I got that from my family. And when I sat back about a week ago, I added up all the hours that I spent away on board business. I stopped adding it around 4 months, and that's literally 7 days a week that we're gone, and at times we were 3,000 miles away from our families. And it's a sacrifice that I'm not sure I would ever do again, but it was an honor to play that angry parent role that I played the past 4 years. Making the educational decisions for the growth and stability of not only Central Union High School District, but the IBRP, which I also serve, and IBRP Community Foundation, which also serve my time as well. And I am happy to now fill up my schedule with a lot of self-care and spending time with my family. That's where I need to be. And I just want to thank you all. Literally you all, for playing your part in helping me become a better board member, a better father, and essentially a better person. So I thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rodriguez. So I want to start my report by focusing on students. I want to give a shout out to a previous student, Miranda Montenegro. She is now a filmmaker, and she's a 2016 Southwest High School graduate. And she was featured in the Calexico Chronicle this week on her work as a director's assistant on the Disney Plus series Star Wars Skeleton Crew. So I just want to highlight that our students are doing amazing things, and this is a result of the amazing district and teachers and programs that we have. And we should all be very proud of what is happening. I just want to say Miranda is a rock star, and I want to congratulate the Montenegro family. I know her mom is an alumni of Central Union High School. So shout out to Miranda Montenegro, and I hope in the future we get to actually see and maybe show her films in our school sites. That would be amazing. So I just wanted to share that. I just wanted to say a few words regarding my experience. This being my last board report, it has been a real honor and privilege to serve as a school board member for this district, and an experience I am always going to remember with extraordinary fondness. It has been a blessing and an honor to serve alongside an extraordinary governance and leadership team. It's not just the board members. You know, we have a lot of our superintendents, our assistant superintendents doing so much work. Sandy, I know you're going to continue doing a great job supporting student athletes and representing the district at the state level. Elizabeth, I have always admired your unique perspective and ability to see opportunity in all situations. Your empathy and your enthusiasm from always stepping in to help is definitely one of your assets that I deeply appreciate. And also your interest in workforce development and CTE programs. I think you were just, you're a jewel because of that, and your service to this board is reflected. Eric, although I didn't know you before joining the board, I grew to admire your patience, your honesty, and commitment to this board. You have always been so respectful to everyone. Even when we disagreed, it was done with diplomacy and tact. And I really appreciate that. I know there were times that you had challenging days, and being the professional that you are, you still showed up and you did the work. And that is so appreciated. Diana, your support and guidance from day one made entering this board so seamless. Thank you for the beautiful moments, leading by example, and for reminding us consistently to stay focused on what's best for students. You set the foundation for us, and the community has much to thank you for your 8 years of service on this district. Your campaign for supervisor set a really high standard for leading with dignity, honesty, and integrity, and you should always be proud of what you were able to achieve. And I think we can still continue meeting for lunch breaks even after serving on this board. I appreciate the level of excellence you all brought to this board. It has been a true pleasure to serve alongside each one of you. To our district staff, I say continue listening to each other and having those sometimes very difficult and uncomfortable conversations that are going to propel the district forward. I never could have imagined the growth and experience that I gained forming part of this team. To our staff, to our teachers, to our parents, and to our students, when things appear challenging, and I encourage you to ground yourselves in joy and community and take care of each other, because your strength lies in your unity. And lastly, to our students, I encourage you to keep showing up and keep speaking up always, because one thing that we do develop in this district is leaders. So keep doing that. Thank you very much. That is all I have. And we're going to be taking a brief recess before we move on with our agenda. Thank you. There's cupcakes over here. Continue with our agenda and student board members. Central Union High School Student Board Member Kaylani Cesena? That's not Kaylani. What is your name?
Adrian Rodriguez.
Adrian Rodriguez. Aiden.
Aiden.
Aiden Rodriguez. Thank you for being here.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Farkas, and community members. My name is Adrian Rodriguez, this year's Director's Assistant, and I am filling in for Kaylani Cesena, your 2024-2025 Student Board Representative for Central Union High School. Starting off with our amazing sports teams, football made it to the second round CIF against Patrick Henry, where we won 20-12 on November 15th. Our boys varsity cross-country team won IVL champs on November 13th and is on to CIF SD championships. Girls flag football also took on Steel Canyon Cougars on November 13th for the first CIF playoff game. Varsity Cheer held a cheer showcase on November 21st and invited many schools from the Imperial Valley. November 21st, Central's football team put up a fight against San Pascual for CIF semifinals. With winter sports coming up, our varsity boys soccer played against Vincent Memorial on November 21st, winning 6-0. We want to congratulate Alana Ortiz for receiving the title Student Athlete of the Year from the San Diego CIF Southern Eastern Conference, and Jared Martin on his signing to TCU on December 4th. We also congratulate our girls soccer team for placing second in the Martha Riaro tournament on December 7th. We have many home athletic events posted on our website, and additional important information can be found on Central Athletics' Instagram page at CHS Athletics. Now for other events happening around campus. On November 21st, our ASB held a ceremony with hot chocolate and treats to celebrate our amazing freshman achievers who received an honorable. December 2nd, we started our Bundle Up for a Cause donation drive, partnering with the Humane Society, where our Central Spartans will donate towels and blankets for dogs in need this holiday season. December 2nd was also National Special Education Day, where we recognized our special education teachers for creating pathways to equity for many students. Spartan Drama also held a winter play called the Snow Show in our amphitheater for free on December 5th and December 6th. ASB has started the Winter Wish season, where we grant the many wishes of our Central Spartans. December 6th, our Spartan Wellness Group held their Day 5 of Wild Mass by giving out hot chocolate to students. Also, on December 6th, our CUHS Law Academy competed in a competition, IVROP, I believe, to keep the trophy remaining undefeated for 7 years. Starting on Monday this week, our annual Stress Less Week, where ASB planned a comforting and stress-free spirit and activity week of fun for our Spartans with finals coming up. Activities ASB is hosting during lunch are ornament decorating, cuddles and cookies, where we partnered with Behavioral Health's Therapy Dog program, donuts in the quad, and a club carnival filled with festivals for our students. Our future ASB events include Middle School Leader Convention on Wednesday, December 11th, Powder Puff Thursday, December 12th, Stress Less Week activities December 9th through December 12th, Winter Wonderland Club Carnival on December 13th, and our CIF cheer competition December 14th. I want to thank Trustee Rodriguez, Trustee Garcia, and President Viñado for their service. And I thank you for your time tonight. I remind everyone to follow Central's ASB on our social media accounts at CHS_updates on Instagram, Spartans for Life on YouTube, and at CHS Spartans on TikTok.
Thank you, Aiden. Good job.
Thank you.
Next, we have Southwest High School Student Board Member Benjamin Gonzalez.
Yes, good evening, board members and community members. It's going to be a long report, and also I have some special thoughts for those leaving. But starting off with my report, we have some recognitions. So Mia Guth was a student recognized for the month of December. Genevieve Vasquez was an artist recognized for the month of November. Isabel Gerardo was an athlete recognized for the month of November. And Mrs. Barrios and Mr. Loving were teachers recognized for the month of November. Moving on, we had a successful Spirit Week and concurrent Social Awareness Week on November 18th through the 22nd. We held a Fun Friday event at the end of that Social Awareness Week, where various clubs participated and they had games for the kids during lunchtime. Currently, we are holding a toy drive, which is for one of the most exciting things personally for me, our Purple and Gold Festival happening the 12th. So we're going to be going down to Heber Elementary School, and we're going to be bringing those toys given at the toy drive to the kids, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have tables and stuff. So we're really excited for that. I'm really excited for that. We're also having a Winter Wonderland Spirit Week to mark the beginning of the holiday season. And then we're also planning to have a first semester Dean's List celebration when we come back from winter break. Athletics, we had a fall sports varsity athlete banquet, and currently we're in full swing with winter sports. Moving on to HOSA. HOSA had their annual gingerbread decorating contest at a chapter meeting. They also had dental assistant students educate 740 students on oral health. And they are currently preparing for California HOSA regional competitive events during January. Tomorrow, Cafe 56 will be having their cafe, and the theme is Christmas soup-based foods, so that'll be happening on Wednesday. Avid, they had a fundraiser for Avid merchandise. They had their bingo night for Avid parents. They had a door decoration to promote Wicker principles, and they also participated in the Fun Friday event that I previously mentioned. Moving on to Savapa, Savapa Dance had their Silver Wishes event from the 6th to the 8th. Savapa Theater had their Christmas Carol show from November 22nd to the 23rd. And December 11th, Savapa Music will be having their Winter Wonderland show at the Amphitheater at Southwest High School. And now, moving on to our outgoing school board members. I want to thank you guys so much for what you guys have done for not only Southwest, but the community as a whole. When I look at this board, and it's not just for those going out, but also Ms. Nugent and Ms. Espinosa, the word that comes to mind is role model. I truly look up to you guys all for what you do in the community, and I aspire to be that when I grow up. So thank you very much. And closing off, I want to wish all CUHS students, parents, and community members a wonderful winter break, and I can't wait to see you all next year. For more updates on anything Southwest, follow us at @SouthwestASB on all social media platforms. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to say, Benjamin, that probably the proudest moment I had on this board was when you presented at the Imperial County Board of Supervisors and provided the student voice. That, for me, was the highest level of courage that a student could offer. And so congratulations on that. You are amazing. And I'm so proud to have been a board member when you did that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we don't have our student board member, Robert, here for Central, for Desert Oasis, so I don't think we have a report, right?
It seems like there's a report right next to me, but no student leader. I could probably, it looks like he has a few bullet points. I could read them out if you prefer. I don't know what happened, but maybe someone else was
Is that
supposed
okay?
to be assigned.
Uh,
Is that okay?
Yeah, Robert was sick, so he couldn't make it today, but I thought myself was gonna show up, that's why I left the report there. But yeah, you're more than welcome to read it if you want.
Okay, well, my name is Ana Paula Nunez. No, but she can't be with us tonight, unfortunately, because it's always great to have all of our reps here. On Tuesday, this December 17th, there will be a posada lunch on the lawn, and awards will be recognized for our students. Tamales, music, resource tables, and parents are also invited. School-wide SEL program, it's called Impactor Pathway, is in full effect, and students are participating during the advisory periods. They also have ambassadors that go around, and we met one this morning over at Desert Oasis, go around promoting the SEL program at the school. There's a partnership with the school, and it looks like Ms. Heisel from our Family Resource Center has coordinated a Thanksgiving basket drive. Awesome. And they had a lot of donations for Thanksgiving basket drive, so they're grateful. And we want to give a special thanks to our board members for helping as well with the Thanksgiving basket drive. Counselor, in partnership with IVC, has organized a financial workshop for our senior graduates. IVC has also presented on dual enrollment at the Desert Oasis for taking college courses. Counselor and a mental health specialist have organized a paint party where students are able to paint a portrait with the guidance of professional artists on the campus. Yep, and ARC, the after-school program, hosted a Friendsgiving. So the Friendsgiving happened, and they had pizza, chips, drinks, panatas, and games, and invited the SRO and had some information for the students. And then finally, there was a volleyball game and basketball game, student versus staff, and the staff won both the games. Wow, we don't usually say that. Mr. Sarah had a buzzer beater to win the basketball game. I think that was today, and I didn't get over there, so I missed a buzzer beater. Thank you for the time, and hope to see everybody at Desert Oasis and Phoenix Rising.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that, Dr. Farkas. And now we have our Central Union High School District Student Club reports. Do we have anybody here for that? Do we have any club reports? No? Okay, then we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Well, I don't have the awesome cowboy hat, so I don't even know if I should be up here. But next time I might steal that look. I usually speak from the chair and kind of do a global report of all the good stuff going on in our district, especially just the fascinating programs and participation we have with our staff and students that really not only drive our schools with academics, but also the culture at our schools, and it's really fantastic. Instead, I have three important topics that I need to or want to address with everyone in audience, and also, you know, we have about 300 average people, not an average of 300 people that listen outside through YouTube. So we most likely have about 200 and some people out there listening. So hopefully this will come out like I've practiced, I guess. But before I get to that, when I was a principal, and I was talking to my superintendent a little while back, he said, when you get your chance and you interview, don't forget, you're interviewing the board as much as they're interviewing you. It has to be the right fit for what you're trying to do with your leadership. And I had an opportunity to come out and interview for this position, and I still remember it like it was yesterday, and I don't remember anything. But I remember that crystal clear. And I remember thinking about his words. I remember answering the questions and getting a good vibe from the board. And I left thinking, I don't know, that was my best shot. I feel like usually I'm mad at myself after things like that, but I was pretty okay with it. And I felt like I had a vibe. And I was ready to take it no matter what. So next thing you know, fast forward, and if I interviewed this board, I would be way more nervous leaving because I wouldn't want to lose the opportunity because of what you are about and our time together, watching you at our schools and with our students and staff working together, guiding our district. It would just be an A-plus interview. So I'm so blessed, and we're so blessed that the five of you have been such an incredible board. You really set the standard. And you get far along in the career and you hear the different stories, and I don't have any stories except just blessed and honored, and I feel many of us feel the same way about you. So thank you all, both outgoing and staying with us trustees. Thank you. So that was not my message, but I needed to say it because it's all just completely sincere and true. We're very thankful. I want to talk, I think we have some AVID friends in the group. We have some AVID students. We have our two AVID coordinators. I want to talk about where we are, what we're trying to do, and I just want to make sure that we're on the same page because just like President Peinado said, the more you talk, even if you don't agree, the better off you're going to be. As soon as you stop talking is when you run into problems. And also, sometimes people hear things differently, right? Sometimes if my wife says something to me, I'd say, what did I do wrong? She's like, I didn't mean it like that. It's just sometimes the tone or the delivery or spending a little time with each other. Our AVID situation here, based on last month and our friends here tonight, we totally value AVID. We respect everything that AVID does for our students to prepare them for college. We have the El Centro Education Foundation that supports with scholarships, and we can tell when we read an essay that's from an AVID student. It's pretty apparent because we know they've been through the instruction and through those opportunities. So in no way do we want, as a district, to affect AVID in a negative way. We want to grow it and make sure it's worthwhile and purposeful. And we want to make sure that both schools are working together as well to enhance our district program. We know that coming out of COVID, we had that COVID money. And the COVID money started off, obviously, for masks and plexiglass and all that. And then there were still opportunities for districts across our state to spend money for things that were not really restricted. And that money was also involved in getting our kids out of the pandemic and onto the buses to go awesome places like going to college, especially when there's college kids on the campus. And we love it. We want it to stay. The issue we have with field trips is, number one, we always ask, how much time are we going to miss from regular classes? Number two, is the teacher going with a group, and how many kids are going to be left behind without their teacher for how long? And it's a little bit gray, and we have to work together on it. This is even more of a challenge because when you take buses outside our county, it's very expensive with the fuel and the cost. We don't have that COVID money to fall back on. We maybe, we definitely could work stronger together on how we can incorporate it in our plans, like our LCAP and our school plan, but we have to make sure that it is measurable, because anytime you attach certain funding to trips like an awesome college trip, it has to have something that is measured because you're using those funds. And I'm still learning about all the different funds, and I've been a superintendent for 2.5 years. There's always something new about funding. So I just wanted to say, from the district standpoint, we appreciate our AVID programs, our AVID students, their hard work and determination, and our AVID instructors, and we want to keep building it. We've tried to work together on, we know about 70% of our graduates stay inside our county. So we know that there's a value, and we also know our institutions inside our county, although there's not as many as the other counties in Southern California, they're pretty awesome. San Diego State, Calexico, Imperial Valley College won awards, national awards. So we want to make sure our freshmen and even our sophomores have opportunities to see those. Obviously, it won't cost as much. And obviously, that'll be a seed that they know when they go into their junior and senior year that that's a possibility, especially when we have 70% of our graduates staying local. But then we also know it's so important to get to the UCs and the other state colleges to try to get out on those campuses, talk to the counselors and the tour guides. So we want that. We just need to work stronger together on how we align it with our, number one, our planning so we can measure it to be successful. And number two, how are we going to fundraise reasonably instead of just say, well, good luck getting $40,000. That's really difficult. People don't want, to give every single day for every single thing. It ruins your home budget, right? So we want to make sure we're thinking smart, and we're working on electronic ways to fundraise as well, with the exception of getting in trouble with audits, because when you get into electronic fundraising, it gets a little sketchy, so we have to be careful. So I knew I was going to talk too long about AVID, and I apologize, because I still have 2 more subjects. But I know we're all here together, and we truly do care. I know I'm terrible often at communication. So I know no matter how good you think you are with communicating or planning, you can do 2 steps even better. So that's what we're going to continue to do. But in no way, if the picture's being painted where we don't want our kids going to check out awesome colleges, especially to get an early indication of what it looks like at home with the awesome San Diego State, that's just where we are right now. So nothing's dead when it comes to awesome trips and enriching experiences. We just want to try to work smart because, unfortunately, money doesn't grow on an orange tree. So we're trying our best. And we also have other plans that we have inside our LCAP plan, like our assessments and all the different systems we're putting in place that cost money that attach to academic achievement as well. Speech. I'm switching to item 2, speech. When we came out of the spring, I knew it because I was too proud. I was too happy. Almost did this, which is the worst thing I could possibly do. I was so proud of the way we took the transfer from the county in a short amount of time, and instead of dwelling on this isn't enough time, all that, we focused on how we're going to land in August. Fast forward August, this past August comes, and there's so many things to celebrate. We've got students with disabilities in the swimming pool, working with our gen ed students in one class. We've got, I can just go on, but I promise you I wouldn't be too long. Awesome, check, 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 almost an A. Be careful before we give ourselves an A, because coming out of the spring, we knew the services, not so much our teachers that were already on the campus with the program. We knew our services that come and go, basically depending on the groups of students, such as occupational therapy, speech. Those programs would be a little bit more difficult because everyone was trying to get those resources from the big transfer from ICOE. So, didn't do a great job with speech. Came out of the summer with a position that was open, started realizing real fast that there's not a lot of speech professionals out there. And even if you are moving at a good speed, there's still not that many out there. And some of the ones that really can kind of dictate their hourly rate, they're in their pajamas on the bottom, business on the top, at home, teaching speech, getting paid more than districts sometimes pay. So that's another thing. So all this sounds like I'm kind of babbling around for excuses. I know we, led by me, could have done better because we have also a position in the county and at school districts called a SLIPA. It's an assistant. They can't do everything a speech therapist does, but can give service to students. That could have been a good plan B. We don't have that position, so that comes with next steps with working with our CSEA union, getting everything squared away and approved. So where I'm saying is, we value speech. We have online speech right now to catch up on some of the misses from the last couple months, and every student will get, regardless of how we have to do it, speech service. And I'm really proud of the program transfer. I'm just not proud of myself for not having a plan B with the extra speech option, because sometimes you think something's going to go smooth or at least be delayed by a week or two or a month, and now we're in December. Thank goodness we have a safety net with virtual speech, and we're going to keep working forward. So I apologize. That's the message about our speech. And then finally, our aquatic center. Super excited about that. This one actually doesn't have a little bit of a black cloud over it, so I'll finish with a good one. The aquatic center is moving forward. We are on agenda item number 4. We've looked at a presentation last board meeting, and we've had conversations about how do you build something that's pretty large and that's new? Like, there's not very many swimming pools being built at schools in our valley. Most of them are kind of on the older side. And there's been new architecture and everything that goes with safety, right? So it's smart for a district to have somebody that knows what they're talking about. And not just somebody that thinks they knows what they're talking about, something that does it for their career. And that's called a project manager. The problem with project manager is it's a pretty penny. It's like 7% of the total cost of the project because they're there every day, every week. They're kind of running the whole show, and they're working next to the district facilities director and assistant superintendent. So tonight we have an opportunity led by our president of Triton, Steve Pedroza. He's in the audience. Steve, thank you for coming tonight. And what we've been fortunate with the partnership, or the prospective partnership with Steve and Triton, is they're a consulting group that knows everything about project managing without having to go full project managing. So that's where the consultant verb comes in. The other part of this that's even better is there's a coaching element to this item number 4, and it's going to be for our brand new facilities director when that person's hired within the next couple weeks coming in, because most likely, unless it's a unicorn, that person's not going to come in with the knowledge that people that build swimming pools in schools every day have. It's just not easy to find. And then also train people like me that I came up through the school's leadership. I didn't come up through business and construction, so I've got a lot to learn. But we want the pool, the aquatic center, to be an awesome success, and we want to use our soft cost money that can only be used for the aquatic center to be a support mechanism that's going to most likely save itself with money, because when you have these big construction projects like the STEM building, you have change orders that naturally happen. We want to eliminate them by being kind of looking forward, keeping everyone on task, including the construction corporation. So there's a lot of pitfalls that we're not expecting to hit because of this opportunity. And we also are looking at training and then the auditing that comes when a project's done to make sure. So I think that's pretty much my long-winded speech. I did better when I rehearsed it by about 10 minutes, so I apologize. But those are the things that are swirling around. We're very excited about jumping in the swimming pool, aquatic center. And we're excited about having it maybe with a hot dog celebration and a big, and we're expecting the timeline to go exactly as we want it to go, which would be jumping in that swimming pool for the first day of school. Unfortunately, future seniors, plug your ears, the following school year. So it would be, I know I wish we could snap our fingers, and I know the community's been waiting. The goal is to make sure students are jumping in that swimming pool on the first day of school, August 2026. And that's what we're going to do. So that's my long-winded report, slash presentation or whatever that was. So thank you and congratulations again to our outgoing trustees, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Dr. Farkas. Next, we're going to move to public comment session. At this time, the Board of Trustees will hear comments, presentations, or requests on matters listed on this agenda. Speakers are requested to give their names and addresses. Time limit for speakers is 3 minutes. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. The board reserves the right to limit presentations. This meeting is being recorded. Do we have anybody here for public comment? That's on the agenda? Okay. So we have no comments for items on the agenda. We'll move to non-agenda items. At this time, the Board of Trustees will hear comments, presentations, or requests on matters not on this agenda or other topics that are not on the agenda but are within the board's jurisdiction. Speakers are requested to give their names and addresses. Time limit for speakers is 3 minutes. The board shall limit the total time to public input on each item to 10 minutes. The board reserves the right to limit presentations. This meeting is being recorded. Do we have any public comment session for non-agenda items?
Yes, we have Mr. Todd Evangelist.
Mr. Evangelist, good evening.
Hello.
Welcome back.
It's good to see everybody. Madam President and the rest of the school board members, I consider all of you colleagues. My name's Todd Evangelist, as you mentioned, and tonight on behalf of the El Centro Youth Football Organization, Football and Cheer Organization, I wanted to say thank you to the district. I think I did it last year. And this year we once again utilized the facilities here at Central Union High School District, specifically at Central Union High School. And oftentimes in public comment, you know, people are concerned about this problem or that problem. I guess what I'd like to do is highlight things that go well and appreciate the district for use of, you know, as a citizen, as a taxpayer, as a community member. It's nice to be able to see tax dollars in facilities and grass and stadiums and lights and all those things be put to use for the community as well. We are extremely appreciative of it. We obviously we consider ourselves kind of a feeder program, so that engenders some familial ties. But I think even above that, I think the district would be well served to know that all folks in the district have really been over backwards to make sure that things are done right and make sure things are set up properly. We as an organization, I think we originally wanted to try and have like 4 or 5 games here. We ended up having like 6 or 7 games because it was such a popular venue, and then we had some playoffs that we weren't necessarily planning on happening. They ended up most of the other teams in Imperial County would prefer to play at Central, and so we hosted that as well. And in fact, one of our teams, our 12U team, is playing in Florida tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in a national championship game. So we're excited about our program, but more importantly, I think we're appreciative of the work that Central has done. The Coach Pena has put on a free coaches clinic for our coaches, making sure that our coaches are well trained and work with youth well. And then folks like the athletic director at Central has gone out of his way to be accessible to us and solving any problems ahead of time. Mr. Lyon, obviously we're good friends, but he's the one who opens the gate at like 5 in the morning when we go show up. So maybe he's an early riser, but I think it also needs to be said that a principal is opening the gate at 5 in the morning when we're showing up to start our day for a Saturday day of football. So we just appreciate the district, and we want to make sure that you guys know once again the district's doing great things when it comes to our community organizations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Evangelist. Do we have any other comments for non-agenda items? Anybody here? No? Oh, we do? It's not working?
Hi, good evening, JP Garcia, 319 Butterfield Trail in Imperial. So I was here in the November board meeting, and when I approached the board at that meeting, I was hopeful, right? I discussed the Avid situation. I know Dr. Farkas addressed it as well. But when I addressed the board in November, right, I says, well, there seems to be some inequity between the sites, because as far as I knew at that point in time, Southwest Avid Trip was going to be fully funded and ours was being cut. That's what I was told by my site. And so I was happy during that meeting, right? Trustee Diane Garcia-Reese kind of mentioned, hey, we believe in our mission statement or we don't. I had a conversation with Trustee Nugent afterwards, and she sounded supportive. So I drove home feeling hopeful, was able to sleep at night. And then I get an email or conversations and said, no, this is how it's going. And in fact, Southwest, their Avid Trip is now being cut as well. So I scratching my head saying, did I say it wrong? When I said equity, I didn't mean make theirs the same as ours. I meant make ours the same as theirs, right? Fully fund the trip. So I don't know if I misspoke or the message wasn't conveyed there. I know Dr. Farkas mentioned there's some money concerns, but money's being spent, right? Money's being spent on this NWEA testing. Money's being spent on this Bullseye software for administrators. Money's being spent, $41,000 for a fence for baseball. So money's being spent. I just wish you would spend it on our academic students as well, you know. I was going to invite a whole bunch of parents to come speak to you. Instead, I opted for them to sign a petition. So I brought that for you to peruse. And I hope you do look at every single signature, because every single signature represents a parent who sends their students to us to educate them, to inspire them, to show them what's possible out there. You spoke about a student who's now a director. That's great. How many directors can we inspire by showing them, look at this amazing four-year university campus that you can visit and be a part of this. So I get sad, you know. I'm not here to fight with Dr. Farkas. He's a good guy. We get along. I'm here to advocate for our students, you know. Todd just said thank you for providing all this thing for athletics. Well, why aren't we providing opportunities for academics? Why is the go-to, well, let's cut that funding? It's frustrating. It's kind of why teacher morale is pretty low. I don't know if you even realize that. You know, have a conversation with teachers. Teacher morale's kind of low. And I love Craig. You know, he had these T-shirts made, said, let's be great Central. It's kind of hard to be great if we're not funding academic programs to get there. So I'm frustrated. So I'm gonna leave these here with you. I kind of already know you made your decision. I don't know if that came from you or from administrators. I feel bad for our students. I'm gonna have to go back and tell them, hey, you know, your words didn't matter. I had a student address you last month, a parent. I'll leave this so you can check them out. But I know I'll probably be up till 1, 2, tossing and turning, knowing that you've made up your mind. My words here tonight won't make a difference, and we'll have to just adjust, you know. We'll send half our students out of town to a university, half will stay here. Imagine sending half our football team out of the county to a competition. We'll half stay here. I mean, where's the equity? And I talked to my counterparts in other counties who are AVID coordinators, and I say, hey, how do you fund your university trips? And they say, oh, we're lucky. We have community partners that fund it. So they live in the right zip code, right? It's harder for us to go to our community just based where we're at in our zip code. So I think the burden falls on our district to to provide the same opportunities for our students that students in other districts have. So hopefully you can have another conversation. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there somebody else here for this section of public comment? And is the timer working? Yeah. Okay. So please keep it within the time limit, please. Thank you.
Hello, board members. My name is Marina Corral. I'm the AVID coordinator at Southwest High School. I'm here to discuss funding for our annual college field trip. In the last 2 years, we have funded our field trip to UCLA, to SDSU, and to UCSD by writing our field trip into our school plan for student achievement. Every year during the school site council meeting in early November, we present an overview of the AVID program, along with our college field trip plan for the next year. After meeting with Mr. Farkas, Mrs. Petter, Mr. Lyon, and Mr. J.P. Garcia yesterday, Ms. Petter informed us that there has to be a selective criteria that is considered measurable to access these categorical funds. What those measurable outcomes could be has not been directly stated to us, but we could implement a set of rigorous criteria. Ooh, I lost my place. Got it. That students must meet in order to be eligible for this field trip. These criteria can center around good grades, attendance, and behavior, as well as challenging themselves to rigorous classes. This would help us meet our LEA LCAP goal number 3, to use a data-driven system that provides targeted support and actions, interventions, and incentives to improve outcomes and attendance while promoting post-secondary success for all learners. This goal mentions incentives as part of the goal, and this field trip is an excellent incentive. My question is, can we track attendance, GPA, A through G eligibility, suspension and discipline issues, or the lack thereof, an AP and IB and dual enrollment in our AVID students, and provide those numbers as data that supports improved outcomes and increased attendance while promoting post-secondary success? And in doing so, can we fund this trip through categorical funds? In addition, we can also, in the months leading up to the field trip, provide opportunities for reteaching and remediation, such as having Saturday schools and tutoring for AVID students who are at risk at not being eligible because maybe they have failing grades or not so good attendance. And if the case is that this cannot be done, that categorical funds cannot be used to support this field trip, I ask that general funds be used to support, at the very least, the cost of the buses and substitutes for this field trip. I have letters from our AVID parents that are asking for your support and asking for the school to fund the trip to visit a university campus for all students, not just half of them. And as you can see, we have parents and students who are coming to you to voice their concerns and their wishes. And I want to thank them for coming, and I want to thank the board for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have anybody else here for public comment? About how many people, if you can raise your hand, how many people are left for the public comment section, just so that we have an idea? One more? Two more? Two more? Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Claudette Miranda, and I am a parent of a senior at Southwest. My son, Giancarlo, has been in AVID since his freshman year, and he has found the program to be beneficial. The university trips that they have taken have provided a motivating factor to Giancarlo to apply to UC and CSU schools. In fact, he has already applied to both SDSU and UCSD. After visiting the different campuses and listening to student experiences, he became excited about the possibility of going there next year. These field trips have guided him as he makes decisions about college and his future. Giancarlo's focus has improved since he has gained more knowledge as to what it entails to pursue a post-secondary education. I see the AVID teachers are mission-driven to get their kids qualified for college. In his AVID class, he has the opportunity to work with tutors when needed and also get direct help through the college application process. The guidance from teachers in this program helps students create that determination to think about their lives after high school. My son has told me that many of the students that he has encountered at these tours are often old AVID students. And I believe this allows the current students to see that going to a college or university outside of the Imperial Valley is an attainable goal for them. Seeing someone who graduated from Southwest 3 years ago and is working on their aerospace engineering degree can show the Imperial Valley students that they can also achieve these hard goals. Programs designed for academic achievement like AVID are key to students' success and their future. And the field trips that take place during the school year are also an essential piece of the puzzle. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Hello and good evening. My name is Guillermo Duran, and I am the AVID president of Southwest High School, but I am here to talk about for all AVID students of how this field trip is very beneficial. So, AVID takes students on scholarly field trips, one each year, where we visit universities to gain insight into their campuses and the opportunities they offer. These field trips have helped me better understand what career pathway I want to pursue and which universities will best benefit my intended major. For example, one of my goals is to attend SDSU or UCSD, which I was able to figure out with the help of these field trips because we get to visit those universities, which helps me in deciding my final decision of if these universities I want to apply to. And I have gotten an opportunity to do this field trip since my sophomore year. And now, being a senior, I have gotten an opportunity to apply to SDSU and UCSD, which we have visited too. We do not only get to attend the colleges, but before we go, we are assigned an assignment to investigate more in depth of the colleges we are going to that year. This helps us understand what they are known for and their finances with their housing and etc. This helps us understand what they are known for and has allowed me to become more familiar with the top majors and career focuses that school offers. This has allowed me to narrow down my choices as to which school better fits my understanding and my interest for my career pathway. The trips also allowed me to experience the environment of not only the campus itself, but the area in general, allowing me to venture and understand what type of environment I want to grow in. Overall, the field trip AVID provides has helped me and others to gain a knowledge that will not only help with our academic future, but also our personal future, allowing us to find the right area for our personal growth. Thank you.
And I believe we have one more who's going to be speaking. Maybe you can come forward, please.
Hello. My name is Corey Fitzsimmons, and I am a new AVID teacher at Southwest. I am advocating for the freshmen. They have a strong desire to go to this. A lot of some of those parent signatures came from my own students. I agree that the Imperial Valley does have very strong options here with IVC and SDSU, but I also believe that given the fact that 70%, as you said, go, there already is a lot of awareness towards those schools, and we're super lucky to have individuals from those schools that come to our school already and tell us about all the opportunities that they have. But what we don't really have is opportunities from these other schools that that the students get through these field trips. Some of these students have never been to a college of this sort, and so in my opinion, that's the argument, is that the AVID is meant to increase awareness, and I think this field trip is one opportunity to do so. Another aspect of AVID is also to increase relational capacity, and having the students go out with all 4 years of AVID is an excellent opportunity for them to learn from each other as well. From the freshmen could learn from the sophomores, juniors, and seniors who have already been through this program, and build stronger relationships as the whole entire program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate everyone coming out and sharing your comments. I'll give direction to our superintendent to continue working with the AVID program and the families, and continue those conversations. I know they're being had. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So we will continue with approval of our agenda this evening. Do we have a motion to approve today's agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
A motion by trustee Espinosa,
I'll second.
seconded by trustee Nugent. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. Agenda is approved. Consent agenda items. All items appearing on the consent agenda are routine business matters and will be acted upon by one motion without discussion. Should any board member request that an item be considered separately, that item will be added to the end of the regular agenda. Do I have a motion to approve consent agenda items? Do I have a motion to approve consent agenda?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by trustee Espinosa, seconded by trustee Rodriguez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'm very excited about, apologies, I'm just very excited about that new course for Foundations of Public and Community Health, by the way. I'm looking forward to see how it grows and all that fun stuff, so glad that got approved.
Thank you. We will continue with our action and information items. Approval of personnel report, December 2024. The board is requested to approve the December 2024 personnel report as presented. Is there a discussion on the personnel report? No discussion? No? Okay, do I have a motion to approve our personnel report for December 2024?
I'll go ahead and move.
Motion by trustee Garcia Reese,
I'll second.
seconded by trustee Nugent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Public hearing on the Central Union High School District Annual and 5-year reportable fees report to fiscal year 2023. It is requested that the Board of Trustees conduct a public hearing for the purpose of receiving input on the annual and 5-year reportable fees report for fiscal year 2023-2024. So we're opening up a public hearing for the reportable fees. Do we have anybody here for this portion of the agenda? So, hearing none, we'll move on to item number 3. Adoption of Board Resolution number 121024-10, approving the annual and 5-year reportable fees report for fiscal year 23-24. It is requested that the Board adopt Resolution number 121024-10, approving the annual and 5-year reportable fees report for fiscal year 2024-2025. Is there a discussion on this item? Any questions on this item?
None
No?
at this time.
Okay.
If there are no questions, I move to accept
Motion-
resolution number 121024-10.
Motion by trustee Garcia Reese, second.
I'll second.
Seconded by trustee Nugent. All in favor?
Roll call.
Roll call.
It's roll call? Okay. Roll call vote?
Trustee Espinosa?
Aye.
Trustee Nugent? Aye. Trustee Peinado?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Reese?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Next item, item number 4, approval of agreement between Triton Group and the Central Union High School District relating to construction management services for the Southwest High School Aquatic Center. It is requested that the Board of Trustees approve the agreement between Triton Group and the Central Union High School District as presented. And this is on page 181. Do we have any questions on this item and anything we need to share?
I tried my best to summarize when I had the opportunity at the podium, and I did introduce Steve Pedrosa, the president of Triton, who's been just wonderful to kind of see where we are with everything, where we're trying to go. So if anybody does have anything for clarification, probably Steve would be better to answer, but I'll give it a shot too.
So I do have a question. I know one of the things that I really like about this is the ability to train our staff. However, I know that sometimes our staff, they depart or they move to a different position. So how much of a flexibility do we have? And I mean, do we have like a set amount of people that can get trained, or what kind of flexibility is embedded into the contract already?
So depending on the role, like a new facilities director, that we reorganized the job description so that it was a lot more construction and facilities-based position when we do hire that person. They would be working a lot more at the site and with the leadership of Steve's consultant team, especially Steve. Ms. Mendoza, our assistant super business, has the opportunity as well to work hand in hand with. Then we have the team, like myself, other support positions that'll be part of it. And we'll have opportunities to meet regularly and learn as we go how this building something from the ground up looks. And in some ways memorializing the checklist, the meeting agendas, and building from there so that we would have a lot more institutional knowledge of how that, how a project like that magnitude or even something smaller would play out. So, and you know, unfortunately, people move and you train somebody and then you have to kind of reset sometimes. But I think the way it's set up, we get the coaching, we get the opportunity to have protection, kind of looking before we leap. We also have somebody that is going to help us what we monitor and how we monitor it as the project goes on. So that it's not just one person pushing that timeline, it'll be a learned experience. So it's exciting because we have a project that is getting started, and that'll be our learning model for future projects as well. And we have the expertise to not make a big mistake when it comes to everything that goes with building something. Steve, feel free.
May I?
Sure, of course. You can come to this side. Just.
Good evening, Board President, Board Trustees, Superintendent Farkas, and fellow community members. Again, yes, so when it comes to a project, training is a big aspect to everything. And we have to, you asked a really critical question on when it comes to how many people. So one of our key aspects that we work with fellow districts up and down the state of California, and myself personally, being invested as a fellow 20 plus years former director of facilities. So knowing the inside is very key to me. When I talk about my career, it's talking about from the bottom up. From starting my career as a custodian, working my way all the way up through purchasing, through maintenance and operations, through construction, and also finishing as a senior director of facilities at two fellow districts. So SOPs are key. Okay, system and processes for every type of project that you do, making sure you follow DST standards, DSA standards, CDE, Department of Education. So that's a key element there, right? So as currently training Dr. Farkas, CBO, and future Director of Facilities is implementing a system and process. So unfortunately, if people do decide to career path or go to a different district, this district will have a system and process how a project starts from design development to CDs, to DSA submittals, to F&E for furniture and equipment, to commissioning, and to when maintenance and operations does take care of the aquatic center. Because understanding there's warranties, there is representation of every aspect from the students and understanding how this equipment works, right? So that's a very, very key element when it comes to training, is making sure, unfortunately, if someone does step out of that role, you go right in. It's like reading a book. I'm very big on that. It's from my kids. I'm a father of 4, and it's a funny joke, but I could literally have my 7-year-old daughter tell you how to lay asphalt down from the ground to the base, because it's a sheet that will tell you exactly how to do it. And it's one of the things that is challenging, right? It is challenging for any of us to be able to do that, but it's a team effort. It's a team effort, and working together is my goal as an owner and main representation for your guys' district, and with my CM team, to be able to come here and provide great, service to you guys and build that relationship with the community, because I think the engagement is key. You're going to have fellow students that we have internship programs that follow our construction, from blue collar workers to engineers to being one of those students at one point in time in my life. So I really, really think that training is a big aspect, and it sky's the limit to any person that comes in here. And long as we're here, that training is going to continue. Questions from the board. Again, congratulations on the service that you three have provided. It is my first time meeting you guys, but just from what I have heard, congratulations on all the impact that you have done, and you know, looking forward to working with the new board members as well, and just educating you guys on any questions that you guys may have for us. So, and you can continue to ask questions if you have anything else.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I recall you mentioning 7% for a project manager, so I didn't see anything on the fees.
That's if you mind, that's Office of State Construction. That's I won't say that's not our fee. There's a fee schedule that we have not to exceed a dollar amount. 7% is California state average that they have on school construction. Is this project going to be 7%? I highly doubt it on a CM level, but that's kind of a boilerplate that anyone could look up on CDE, on Office of Construction project. Right now, in the state of California, anything public works, it ranges from that 5 to 8%. So they took that 7% mark as a state average.
So I don't know if I missed it.
I saw a fee for 200,000.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a not to exceed a dollar amount, and then there's our pay fee schedule in there for engineers, project management, CMs, principals as well.
It's page 181.
That's where it starts, but I read through it and I saw.
That's
and I
the correct
thought,
amount.
That's not bad.
That's the correct
That's
amount.
200,000.
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Oh, page 7 of the agreement.
So for this specific project, I know we're kind of looking at opening possibly August of 2026, right? For the aquatic center? So is this project specific, or if it runs over, we're still gonna be able to continue this consultant agreement? Or is it?
It's attached to the project, but also finalization of the project. So it's project-based, but there is the closure process as well. So just because we have and correct me if I'm wrong, we have a ribbon cutting and the students have PE in the swimming pool and the swim team's in there, there'll be a few
Still be
months
punch list,
after
yeah.
where we're finishing up the audit process and the things that need to be
That-
dotted and crossed.
That is correct. Like it states on the board agenda on documents that you guys have, the way to be able to facilitate this project and get everything moving to where it needs to go in the right direction. There's a lot of legwork that needs to be done, right? So there's a lot of legwork currently as the project is in DSA for review. So expecting to get that fairly soon, working with Sanders Architectural Firm as well, and partnering together and making sure that we are going in the right direction. Yes, so there is steps to it. There's pre-qualifications. We want to make sure there's a qualified pool contractor that's going to build your project along with requirements for that. Requirements meaning we want to make sure they have 10 years plus experience doing it at a minimum. Currently, right now, we're building 5 pool aquatic centers up and down the state of California, from 2 in the Fresno area, 1 in Riverside County, another one in Orange County, and 1 is in LA County as well. Very similar to your guys' facility. So yes, so that there is a portion in there can be extended if needed, and that's why we have the pay fee schedule inside our proposal. If it does extend past the agreement that's in place.
Let's remember that if it does go beyond the set date, that's why we have an insurance with the builder, correct? That they will pay.
Yeah, liquidated
Yeah.
damages.
Yeah, they go through hold them, so, yeah. I'm sure you will take part of that, right, is hold them.
Accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
that's
those
key. Holding them
dates, yeah.
accountable and making sure, how Dr. Farkas said, our goal is to change orders. It's something that that unfortunately no one likes that. And I don't even like as well. But when you have unforeseen conditions or things, so my goal right now is to make sure that our team is very proactive in making sure from seismic to infrastructure to MEPs, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing items are all what they say they are, to making sure when we go out to bid is a very accurate and competitive bid when we do that process there, and making sure that we will get things every year. There's a 5 to 6% increase typically on construction, so we want to be able to do that the sooner the better, so we get the best rate and best cost and most qualified contractors as well.
Even with furniture, right? I mean, it could go up $100,000.
Yeah, F&E, so we want to make sure that we are, like I always say, we want Nordstrom quality but Target prices. You know, I think that's one of the, IKEA too, so.
And I support this because I know that we learned a valuable lesson with the STEM building of, you know, the amount of work that it takes, and it takes staff time too. So I think it's needed, and I support it because I know Trustee Garcia Reese has experience with these type of projects and project managers, and I think this is kind of something that we can actually implement.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to leave you with is transparency is key, because I always explain to every board, every representative that we deal with, I believe transparency is different than honesty, because honesty will tell you, hey, I'm looking at this camera, then I'm going to go point it over here. But transparency is like, I'm going to pick up that camera, and I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to take a photo of these construction workers doing this, this, and that. So I'm very big on transparency and making sure that we are giving you exactly what you guys deserve and the fellow community members. But last thing is, there is failures, there is things that happen in construction. It's construction, right? But I would say through all success, failure is key. Failure is key, but it's the way you learn from it and the way you get yourself back in the right direction. So I think, you know, again, thank you guys very much, for allowing me to come up here to be able to speak, and, you know, educate is big for me. And hopefully we can build a great relationship with each other and just continue to, you know, have kids swim in that swimming pool. You know, I think that's key. So thank you again.
Thank you very much.
And let the former trustees get invited to
So, alternatives to this is pretty much just staff doing the footwork.
Two alternatives. One is we're on our own, see how we can, see if Farkas understands construction. That's the scary one. And then the other one would be full program manager, which would be about 7%. And for the total cost of these projects, it would be estimated at $700,000 up to 1.2 million. So, and we get an opportunity to learn, which most project managers are going to say, we'll work with you, but we've got things to do here. We've crossed this bridge here, we're excited.
Yeah, and then one of the key things, that's a good question, is the program part. So as a former director of facilities, is understanding money. Like board trustee said about energy, there's a lot of money out there for a lot of districts, is you have to find it. And we have a hardworking team, and understanding from having a percentage of ADA students, having a percentage of minority, having a percentage of square footage on certain capacity. So we're able to be able to bring that to the table and possibly, you know, fund additional money for things. I know, speaking with the district and talking about where currently the bulk of the money is coming from, but still, you never know. It's always to have a good pot of money versus a very tight portion of money. So there's always ways to get money, and I just really, the amount of effort that we put in there and the amount of knowledge and effort that we are going to get for furniture and equipment. There's plenty of companies out there that are willing to, give a break to us for just be able to ask the question. I think that's key, asking the question.
Mhm.
The 200K, where would that be coming from?
The soft cost of the project. So,
From the
so it would be still based on the funding that has been set aside for the aquatic center, and that's the soft costs, that aren't actually the brick and mortar. It's the, opportunity, and then the perks that we don't even know about, like maybe some discount on furniture, and obviously everything that goes with the communication with the architect and district.
I just have a concern with that, because it is a risk, 200,000 to add up on top of the bill that we already have. I know those expenses, when we got on the board for the STEM, it just kept adding up and adding up. So a little concerned, especially if it's something that could essentially be done by staff.
But I think that was the question about being a project specific, right? Linked to the project, that's kind of what's kind of keeping the cushion of the cost not going astronomical. Am I correct?
And avoiding change orders that maybe would have been overlooked. Not
Mhm.
that it happens every week, but it's part of the project.
Mhm.
STEM building was, I think it was around 400,000 change orders. This one would be nice to, with the partnership, avoid almost all costs of change orders. That's like moving an electrical socket that you didn't expect to trench, all that.
Because traditionally, the way I understand it is a project manager is a percentage of the total cost, which is going to be, of the project, which is gonna be much higher than the 200,000.
At least 700,000.
And that's the conversation that we had last month. And so this is kind of like an in-between, like not going full project manager, but not going without any help at all.
That's where we're at.
So this is our middle point right here.
Correct. Or
This
maybe
is our
a
T-Mobile
little
version.
bit sooner than middle.
Mm-hmm. That's the way I'm understanding it.
Correct. And now, if we came back for, I don't know, let's say a project that's half as expensive in the near future, and we said, we need a project manager, or we need to stay to the level of partnership we have right now, then what was it all for? The district shouldn't come forward and say on the next project that we've learned nothing from it.
Mhm.
This is an opportunity for, like Trustee Rodriguez said, to have people on the, employed here as leaders and as skilled professionals to lead the process. But first we have to learn the ins and outs and the resources.
Yeah, and then to mention something, yes, things are always scary as a former district employee. As one of the things that's, as I approached Dr. Fargas and we spoke, is giving a fee along with a area where we're kind of comfortable with to build that trust. Because yes, seeing a cost for 5 to 7% on the board with no type of stand on or a leg to stand on, it is a little alarming. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I had to bring things to the board as a district representative, and it was scary. Sometimes things weren't passed. But one of the things I have learned is to build that trust as a stepping stone, and that's what this is. It's a stepping stone to be able to educate the district and build that to be able to hopefully continue that relationship to blossom into the district to the aquatic center and keep moving from there. So it's to be as as straightforward as possible is. It's a not to exceed amount on the thing, but at any given moment, if they're not happy with our services, they can't cut it. I'm gonna be really honest, and that's the way I kind of operate our company, and just be if it comes into a month or two and it's not you're at say a couple $1,000, unfortunately this is not working out for us. We're not tied to $500,000, $700,000. This is a not to exceed amount, so we can reach up to $200,000, and then come to like, hey, we're doing everything great. The project is under wrap, and now we're gonna do it, and now we'll come back to, for anything additional and things as we're going. But this is just a stepping stone to get us to where we need to be at.
So Dr. Vargas, would you say that this would be somewhat of an investment in professional development for our staff?
Absolutely.
So in the future, that staff that you're gonna be working with, essentially, they'll be ready where we wouldn't need you?
100%. I'm gonna be honest, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I will lay it out as clean as possible, is if we get to, say we're at $120,000 and I get, the goal is for me as a consultant, I'm gonna be 100% honest, I don't need to be here the whole time, okay? As I get this project going, but if we do need more assistance and that is gonna pass that $200,000 and then we're going, yes, we'll have that conversation, but yes, again, my job as a consultant is to be able to educate, to train, and to make sure this project is successful. And, and I appreciate that. It's an honest truth. Our goal is to make sure that we're successful and this project is completed. And if it takes time, I could pretty much, I don't want to say, I don't like the word guarantee, but I could pretty much tell you that if you with the open-minded director of facilities and your superintendent and assistant superintendent, within a few months to a year, they'll be really, really, really well-rounded individuals to, if it's not this project, after this project complete, be plenty of other projects, but sometimes it comes to capacity, Right now, I said Aquatic Center, I had a meeting this morning. We have a full-time CM, a part-time PM, and a principal assigned to this project because that's what the board of trustees wanted. So, but yeah, those are great questions.
Anything else before we request a motion? Do I hear a motion to approve the agreement with Triton Group?
So for the sake of the success of the pool project and for the future investment in staff, I would like to motion.
Motion by trustee Rodriguez,
I'll second.
seconded by trustee Garcia Reese. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next is board approval of the Central Union High School District's 2024-25 first interim report.
Jackie, you're leaving before the fun part.
Yes, please. I think it's because they were touching it.
I still got one. Oh, okay.
This is our 24-25 first interim budget report. So bear with me. So just a little quick history or background information on Prop 98 and the fiscal outlook. Again, we will not have we'll have a better update after the governor's budget in January, but this is where we're at right now. So for the 24-25 school year, the estimated amount for Prop 98, the minimum guarantee amount was up by $3 billion, but to note that not all of that will be given to the districts, so it's put into a reserve account. Remember that in 2023-24, there was a $7 billion contribution from the reserve, the rainy day fund, to the general fund budget. So in the out years, it was an estimate of a COLA estimate for 25-26 of 2.93. Now it's down to 2.46. Our current COLA at 1.07 still stands for 24-25 fiscal year. Here's an update with our 3-year average ADA. Our enrollment did go up to this is a seabed state, to 4,070. Keep in mind that this is the number. It has to do with also the special ed transfer. These are the students. Our 3-year projected ADA, we go off a 3-year average, is at 3,933.98. This is just a projection. So even though we're seeing a huge increase in our, a good increase in our enrollment versus a declining, the ADA doesn't match, of course. Our students aren't here 100%. And then please note that for special ed, some of our students are absent a lot more, so it's not gonna reflect as much ADA. But again, this is a P1 where we're at right now. For second interim, I'll have a better number for P2, which is what we're funded on. So I'm hoping it'll stay the same or go higher, but that's where we're at right now. LCFF. So for 23-24 school year, our ADA funding was at $16,189. We were funded at $3,930.75, which is giving us a LCFF revenue of $64,599,535. Our projection for 24-25, our ADA funding did go up to $16,325. Our projected ADA is $3,933.98, which brings us to our LCF funding at $64,222,203. So the difference there between the dollar amount is $332 less. There's supplemental and concentration that also goes into that, so that's why you might see, okay, we did increase in ADA, but why overall we didn't. So here's a breakdown for supplemental and concentration. So supplemental and concentration, this is a money that we receive for our unduplicated count, which is our foster kids, our social disadvantaged kids, and our migrant kids, our homeless kids. The amount we received for supplemental and concentration last year for 23-24 was at $15 million. This year, we're at $14 million. And the reason for that, we didn't have the same amount of students unduplicated count. Our numbers did go down by 13 pupils. We're hoping to get that number. I know there was a little hiccups with registration. Not everybody filled out their income forms. So we're hoping that next year we can pick this number back up to bring that supplemental and concentration dollars back up. overall, this is our 24-25 LCFF, how we're funded. As you can see, the ADA plus a grade span, plus a supplemental, plus a concentration. So where our unduplicated count right now is at 77.68, and with bringing our total LCFF to 64,222,203. So now we go to our unrestricted programs. And this is a comparison from September to now, first interim. Our, as I explained earlier, the LCFF resources, we did have a decrease in that. And this is, again, 13 pupils. That money does go a long way. We're hoping once we have, our ADA will, at P2, will determine if that money goes up. It's not gonna be in the S&C, but it'll be in the other, in the ADA count. For federal and state, there was no change. For local revenues, there was a change, and this has to do with the FFA grant, cadet program, Voices del Valle that we received, and the CISC safety program. So that funding, those are the categories that increased this funding. Then for our certificated salaries, we do have a slight increase of 72,000, and this has to do with when we first do our budget, we make these assumptions based on, okay, they're gonna have 5 periods, 6 periods. So now that we have finalized schedules for the semester, now we know what students are gonna be in what classrooms. This is the increase that you see. So it's really the extra period assignments. There's some slight adjustments to CT and coaching stipends, but this is where, you know, where it was at. Then for classified salaries, our team did go through all the vacancies, and there was just some vacancies we knew that are not being filled. So we made those adjustments, and you see a decrease in classified salaries. Then you have employee benefits. So we have an increase of 234,000, and there has been changes to and this is basically what the employees elect. So this is a true cost of where we're at as far as health and welfare. And you'll see it on both the unrestricted side and the restricted side. So that is an added cost to us. You have your books and supplies, and this also has to do with increases in programs. So we have ALCAP, FFA, Cadet, Voices del Valle, the CISC safety program, and we have a total of $307,000 increase. Then for services and operating expenditures, and these are all professional consulting services, and for the CTE programs, a total of $603,000 increase. Then we have the capital outlay, and this is based on, so we might have within, even though you see an increase of variance in books and supplies, we sometimes have a shift from either a certain object, 4,300, to capital outlay, so that is a slight increase, a slight shift of 162,000. Then we have the other outgo of an increase of 5,247. Then also with all these increases in expenditures, you will see an increase in indirect costs of 17,541. Then you have the change from what we were going to contribute on the September budget to now, which is a $21,000 increase, and so we're doing now we're at 1.2 million from Fund 400 to the general fund contribution. Then now from unrestricted to restricted, we are doing a contribution of $7.1 million, and this is specifically going to these two programs, which is special education and routine restricted maintenance. Now with our restricted programs, federal revenues, so you don't have LCFF here, you have federal revenues, a decrease of 70, sorry, I can't see from here, $70,829. And these are adjustments. Once we receive, at the beginning of the school year or even before the school year, we receive projected allocations amounts for federal programs. At this point, they update it, and you'll see changes throughout the year in this area because throughout the year they update based on either carryover from other programs. So then they can either increase or decrease, and then depending on how many students we actually have at the end of the year with these programs. So there's a slight decrease of 70,000. Then you have the state revenues, and these are just adjustments from, so we had a decrease of 330,000, and this is just again to align to what the actual allocation came in at. And so these are the two programs that had adjustments, arts and music and partnership academies. Then with our local revenues, this is, we did receive around 7 for strong workforce, so that's $536,000 increase. Then for certificated salaries, you'll see an increase of $155,000, and this is again for two specific programs, the special ed. You do have extra period assignments that are paid from there, and then the strong workforce. For classified salaries, it's a decrease of $155,000, and it doesn't necessarily coordinate with the certificated, and it's not intended to, but it was just these vacancies that are not there were adjusted for to match what actually salary contracts are versus what was budgeted. Then again, our employee benefits, a $240,000 increase, and this is to align with what was picked for the employees and what insurance, whatnot that they are receiving. We have an increase of $875,000 in books and supplies. This has to do with the strong workforce and textbooks. So we do receive money for textbooks, and this is where it goes, restricted specifically for textbooks. We have an increase also with services and operating expenditures of $280,000, and this again ties back to the arts and music and the strong workforce program. A budget decrease of $65,000 for and this is the area that I found was the restricted routine maintenance. We decreased $65,000 there in some expenditures. The other outgo, there's no change. And then again, you'll see the $17,000 decrease in indirect costs because this is based on the decreases of expenditures that we have. Then here we have our contributions. What you saw on the unrestricted is now reflected the opposite for the restricted. And this is just to cover the special education and restricted routine maintenance. And just to kind of give you a, I know we've talked about the special ed program and the impact, and I do want to be very transparent with you. And $4.5 million of that is a contribution to special ed. So that's how much we're contributing from our general fund to that program. And so it is costing us a lot more than what was proposed when it was, oh, here, we're gonna transfer it over, it's gonna be this easy. It is, we are taking a hit on it, and there's still services that I think, I mean, with speech, those are added costs, so, but I just wanna be transparent and let you know this is a dollar amount, 4.5 right now that we're at, just to contribute to special ed, to keep us at a good standing right now. So once speech, I know there's some adjustments that we need to make to speech, but hopefully once P2 comes in and we can see what ADA, the special ed program, I'm hoping that that dollar amount's gonna increase the revenue, not as much to match the outgo, but at least have some more revenue. And that's not accounted for yet because we don't know what the ADA for special ed is right now, but.
Is that an ongoing cost, or is that like a, you know how sometimes we have a one-time cost
Sort of.
to put up, you know, special furniture and prepare some classrooms for them?
I think right now with the speech and certain services that are new to the district, there are some potential one-time costs, but you can see that going forward, there will probably be. Yeah, it'll be, maybe not 4.5, but it'll be a couple of million that we'll have to contribute from unrestricted to a restricted program. So where we're at, this is our summary for our current first interim, and right now I did highlight the amount that we are deficit spending of $18 million. We do have a lot of one-time expenditures that were, or revenues that were accounted for in out years. I know we did a lot of we had until September 30, 2024 to spend a lot of our ESSER dollars. So in future years, that amount won't be as high because we received ESSER dollars, gear dollars several years ago, and we're finalizing expenditures this year. So that's why you see such a high deficit spending. And then of course with the special ed program, that adds to it. Overall, our ending fund balance is at $13.1 million. And well, with this report, and then here is a breakdown with that 13 million, what's restricted and what's reserved for economic uncertainties. So I think this finalizes the report for now. Again, this is just kind of an update from the original budget with the us updating, the salaries and everything that is pretty much set. What will come in for second interim, I think the changes would be the revenue portion, because that's when we'll know where our P2, what we're actually going to get funded on. But as far as the out years, we will meet all reserve requirements for the 3 years out, but that's all I have for you at this interim reporting. So I ask that the board can approve on a positive certification, and we will have enough funding for the next 3 years out. We just have to watch our expenditures, but hopefully our enrollment doesn't decline as we thought it would, and we can figure out programs to bring up our ADA. So I know we're working on it. I know the team is working on attendance and making sure that because the higher our attendance is, the more we get funded for. So.
Marcy, I do have a question, and you probably have answered this, but I didn't write the amount down. I know there's a lot of conversations about the new administration, federal administration coming in January, making changes, and the possibility of federal funds not going to school districts in the future. How much of our funding is linked to federal funds at this point that could possibly be affected?
We have the title fundings. How much sorry to put you on the spot. How much do you think Title I, Title II, Title III? So about 2.2 million. I'm sorry, Anthony, to put you on the spot. But those are the potential ones that could be affected, but I'm hoping to get more feedback at the January revised budget. I think that's when they go into real detail with what the governor is planning to do, and hopefully get updates with the new administration coming in as well too. So that'll be the second week of January that I'll be attending that workshop, and I can bring back some more clarity to that after that. Even just do kind of a quick overview, even though I'm not presenting second interim at that time, but bring back more information. I think it's still kind of an unknown.
Yeah, but I think conversations are being had about what that might look like and how the necessity to pivot, right? Based on what yeah. Any other questions?
No, it's a percentage. Right now, no, our board approved rate is 16.7. We're not there yet. we're actually at, I'll give you the exact number right now. Our reserves right now we're above 10% for this year, we're at 11.16. For 25-26, I estimated at 9.44, and for 26-27, 4.69. Yeah. They had brought it down temporarily to 10% because of the excess reserve the whole state had, but we're not there anymore. So it's that doesn't apply to us anymore. So
Once you dip below 3%, that's where you start getting into danger zone and negative or qualifying factor.
yes.
Obviously, it's already.
And those are the things that we'll closely work with. I think considering in the future, you know, I know we try to give raises or we want to give raises based on COLA or whatnot, but these are conversations that we definitely have to have and really look at the programs to see what is needed. And again, I'm hopeful that our ADA will go up. Maybe not our enrollment, but maybe there's something we can work on. I know there's other counties that are working on different programs. Julian, I know they have independent study along with to make sure that there's ADA, but it's a program that it's very new. I know they're working on something like that, so I'm hoping once they get it down, I can reach out to the CBO there that way to see how they're doing it. And I think at this point, that's the only area that, as far as revenue, we can work at. And I mean, there's going to be grants that are available, so those are areas that I would like to explore too, to bring in additional funding to the district.
Thank you, Marcy.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This was great information. So I need a board approval of the 2024-25 first interim report with a positive certification as presented. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to I'll make a motion to approve the item.
Second.
Motion by trustee Espinosa, seconded by trustee Rodriguez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Do we have anyone from ECSTA to share comments this evening? Anybody from CSEA? Okay, hearing none. And I believe we're not going back to closed session. This is it. So it is approximately 8:44. This meeting is adjourned. Drop it.